I love movies. Do you know what else I love? Root beer. Join me as we watch some movies, review some movies, while drinking a cold, tasty root beer. This is Movies and Root Beer.
Halloween.
I think he'll come back.
Halloween, the night he came home. Rated R.
Welcome to Movies and Root Beer. Today we'll be doing Halloween. Today we have my sister Lola. Say hi.
Hello.
Well, first let's start off with the root beers.
Ugh.
Today we have Sprecker's Root Beer, fire brewed craft soda. Ooh, made with honey, a natural antioxidant, whatever that is. It's a twist off, Lola.
I don't think I can.
You just twist. Oh shoot. There we go.
Can you do mine, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had to do Marcos too.
They're hard to get off. Thank you.
All right, let's test it out. Cheers. That's good. Very good.
Yeah, I like it.
So good. We gotta get more of this. Alright, well, let's get into the movie.
Excuse me.
So what we have is Halloween VHS Edition, and why we call it that is because it was on VHS. And here's a VHS light made by Lola here, hers truly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the movie description. On a cold Halloween night in 1963, a 6-year-old Michael Myers brutally murdered his 17-year-old sister, Judith Myers, that is. He was sentenced and locked away for 15 years in a mental institution. But on October 30th, 1978, while being transferred for a court date, a 21-year-old Michael Myers steals a car and escapes Smith's Grove. That's the name of the mental institution. He returns to his quiet hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois. Oh no. Where he looks for his next victims. Oh shoot. And here's the description on a VHS box. We just copied it down. On a black and unholy Halloween night years ago, little Michael Myers brutally slaughtered his sister in cold blood. But for the last 15 years, town residents have rested easy, knowing that he was safely locked away in a mental hospital. Until tonight. Never mind that. Tonight, Michael returns to the same quiet neighborhood to relive his grisly murder again, and again, and again. For this is the night of evil. Tonight is Halloween. It released on October 25th, 1978. So this movie was actually 5 days ahead in the future on its release date.
Oh my god.
If you do the math.
Yeah.
John Carpenter was the director. It was written by John Carpenter and his then girlfriend or wife. I want to say girlfriend.
I don't know.
Deborah Hill. And she also produced it. Deborah Hill. The budget versus the box office. The budget was $325,000. That would be like $1.4 million today. And then the box office was $70 million. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
You go from less than $1 million to
making
tens of millions.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's what we call profit.
What is that today? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't get to do that math.
Oh. Okay.
But it is one of the most successful independent films of all time. Isn't that crazy? The cast. Do you want to do this part?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
The cast of this movie was Donald Pleasance as Loomis.
Yes, Dr. Loomis.
Should I say that?
Yeah, Dr. Loomis.
Jamie Lee Curtis as Lori, which this was her film debut.
That means it was her first, for those of you who don't know that word.
And then I don't know the rest of these people.
PJ Souls was Linda, the girl, friend, blonde hair.
Oh,
totally. Linda. There's a Linda and a Lindsay, so I get confused.
Nancy Loomis.
Annie.
Okay, and then Nick Castle as The Shape.
Who was Michael Myers masked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put Lester, who's the dog.
Oh, God.
He's not credited in the cast. Usually dogs are nowadays. Back then they were not. So we'll never know the dog's name that played Lester. Unless there's something around the internet saying who he is.
Okay.
The art, or poster in the movie is usually this. Actually, I think we have it right here. Yeah. It's this pumpkin with a knife, and then obviously Michael Myers' hand. And it's just Halloween. There's not really much on there. It's very simple, but it is very iconic. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. History. Okay. After viewing Carpenter's film Assault on Precinct 13, 1967, which was
76.
What did I say? 67?
Yes.
Sorry. At the Milan Film Festival, independent film producer Erwin Yablans, I'm going to stick with that, and financier Mustafa Akkad sought out Carpenter to direct a film for them about a psychotic killer that stalked babysitters. Carpenter agreed to direct the film contingent on his having full creative control, and was paid $10,000 for his work, which included writing, directing, and scoring the film. He and his then girlfriend, Deborah Hill, began drafting the story of Halloween. There is an urban myth that the film at one point was supposed to be called The Babysitter Murders, but Yablans has since debunked this, stating that it was always intended to be called and take place on Halloween. Carpenter said on the basic concept, Halloween Night, it has never been the theme in a film. My idea was to do an old haunted house film. It's a cool backstory. This Assault on Precinct 13, 1976. Sorry about that. I've only seen the new one with Ethan Hawke and Lawrence Fishburne, I believe his name is. Great movie. Makes me want to watch this 76 version. I think you would like that.
I've never heard of it. So
I just watched it recently.
Okay.
Movies released with, so this was like it's competition, sort of. Watership Down, which released like a week later. That was like that rabbit movie. The Wiz, which is Wizard of Oz retelling.
Yeah. And
its biggest competitor, in my opinion, or at least from what I found, it was Animal House. That was a pretty popular movie around that time. Alright, let's get into the general thoughts / plot of the movie.
Oh, Jesus.
So, when we watched the movie, we
Sorry.
took notes and just wrote stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to share our general thoughts on the plot.
Just one by one, or?
Well, we'll just go through the story, because doing it with Marco, I realized during our Spider-Man one, I took some at one point. He would take like one, and then it would just like, just gonna go through the story. Hopefully we don't go back and forth. Hopefully we just go beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so...
Well, I wrote out the plot one by one.
Okay.
I don't know if that's nerdy of me, but... Okay.
Well, what'd you write first?
His sister's room was weird to get to. Like, he had to go to his room, and then to her room.
Oh, like to get the mask?
No, to kill her.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, it's a little weird.
And like when she and the boyfriend went up, they had to go through Michael's room to her room. Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah. Weird. I put around that spot. I put Michael has a horrible older sister. She forgot about him because she's an S word.
Okay.
Because she just brought a guy over and forgot about Michael. Right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you got? Or do you have anything about the murder? Or at least the first murder? No? Okay, I got a few more things. Or just one more, actually. I put 8-year-old Michael seems... Wait, no, 6-year-old. Was he 6 or 8 when he first killed?
6.
He's 6, okay. Just making sure. I put 6-year-old Michael seems a lot taller based on the camera angle. Because you can't see the doorknob when he leaves. It's like underneath his field of view. But usually like 6-year-olds are at the doorknob for their field of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he's got to be like 5 feet, 6 years old. If he's not able to see the doorknob. That was just something I noticed.
Okay.
What do you have?
After?
Yeah, like, next part I took was, about the mental institution.
Mm-mm.
No?
I don't have any. Well, I did have a question about that. Should we do that or no?
Nah, we'll save those for the end.
Okay.
We kind of go through the plot twice, but
Okay.
it's all fun.
Okay.
I put Michael was 21 years old. That's a little math for you. Because he was 6, and then 15 years later, he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, math checks out. I also put takes place in Haddonfield, Illinois, which is a made-up place, as we discussed earlier.
No, it's a real place.
No, Haddonfield, New Jersey is a real place, which is what it was based off of.
I'm just kidding.
What do you have? What's your next point?
Loomis knew what he was doing, like, in terms of, like, getting inside the mind of Michael, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's
like,
not really...
where would he go, you know?
Yeah, there's not really a lot of smart people in horror movies. He is, though. The next point I took wasn't for a while, which was when the bullies were bullying Tommy. Do you have anything before that? Okay. I put, I don't get bullying. Like, how is that fun? Do you know what I mean? Like,
you could ask that about...
how they just push him around and just make fun of him. I don't see the fun in that.
That's a good point, yeah.
I also made a point about Tommy with Michael Myers.
Oh my god, I had a question about that.
I put every kid looks at every car that passes by them, like on the street. If you were a little kid, which everyone probably was at some point, everyone knows that, you know, whenever a car passes by, you just have to look at it as it goes by. So, for some reason, Tommy is not normal, and he did not look at Michael Myers' car that he was following him in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have next? I have when they're walking home. Do you have anything before that? Or during that?
I said Laurie was the only smart teen in this movie.
Yeah. I like how... Because this is like the first slasher film, and she's like the smartest one.
In terms of like...
survival instincts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although there were some parts where she was being a little stupid.
Like what?
When she wouldn't be quiet in the closet.
Oh, yeah. When they're walking home, I put, after Linda and Annie leave, there's a part where Laurie gets, like, a piece of a leaf in her hair, and she doesn't, like, bother to get it out. That bothers me. Because whenever something just on my clothes, in my hair, I gotta take it out.
Okay.
That doesn't bother you?
No.
There's a little piece in her hair that she doesn't, like, notice or grab. Just get it out. And I was just staring at it the whole time, like, when is it gonna fall out? It's gotta fall out at some point.
No, I don't think it bothered me that much.
Do you remember when Loomis is visiting Judith Myers tombstone and he realizes that it's gone.
Yes.
The groundskeeper? Is that what you call him?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other dude, yeah.
I put Dr. Loomis is a rude man. I wanted to hear the rest of the story of Charlie Bowles of Russellville. Because that groundskeeper was telling a story and Dr. Loomis just cut him off. I wanted to hear the rest of it. So that upset me for a bit.
What was his name?
The groundskeeper or the boy?
Yeah, the
Charlie Bowles.
Okay.
I don't know how you spell bowls. I just put it like the noun, like the bowl of, like a bowl of soup. So I put B-O-W-L-S.
Okay. I think it was, I have a question just saying Charlie Bowles, question mark. It's Bowl-E-S.
Oh, that's how you spell it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I pointed out that Michael Myers was the one to break in and steal the junk from that hardware store. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I'll put this up here, actually. I like how when Dr. Loomis is done talking to the sheriff at the hardware store about, like, Michael Myers, and then Michael Myers is in the car, passing by.
Yeah.
He's looking in every direction but the direction he should be.
I know.
What an idiot.
They're smart people. They just have stupid decisions.
They have stupid moments.
Yeah.
This neighborhood has terrible neighbors who never look outside and report a man standing in front of a house. You know what I mean?
Oh, when Lori saw him outside?
Yeah. There's terrible neighbors in this neighborhood in general.
True. Like later.
Yeah, even later in the movie. They don't do anything to help her. This is probably the only horror movie, or just a movie in general, with a cop, or a sheriff to say the least, that actually believes what they're saying and does the right thing, which is help them. Usually cops just laugh in your face.
Although, he was kind of skeptical about it.
He was skeptical, but he helped.
That's true.
Because that's his job.
Yeah.
And, shoo him away like, yeah, what an idiot. When Annie do you have anything about, like, Annie babysitting Lindsay? Or anything before that? No? Okay. I put, when Annie gets butter on her and then she has to go, like, clean her stuff, she asks Lindsay for a robe, but Lindsay is just sitting there watching TV, and in my personal opinion, she is the 1978 version of an iPad kid. Just sitting there at the screen, not doing anything.
iPad kid.
Yeah, iPad kid. Or a TV kid back then.
Oh, that's good.
I get that Tommy is 8 or something. He's around that age. But he's pretty idiotic for an 8-year-old. I have a list of things.
Oh, jeez.
He believes everything he's told. And after hearing there's a possibility of the boogeyman, he gets all freaked out about that. And then he hears Laurie's scream for help, and yet he slowly walks down the stairs, not even, like, thinking, like, oh, it could be the boogeyman, because I've been believing about him all day.
Makes no sense.
I put Annie's an idiot, too. She can easily move whatever the heck was in her way to escape the window. Because she barely put any effort into that.
Yeah.
She also, before her death, she checks the car, which was locked, and then she comes back with keys, and the car is magically unlocked, and she doesn't question anything.
I think she did, like, once she...
Yeah, she was, like
after the fact.
But then she just shrugged it off.
But then it was too late.
But I did put, at least she tried to get help with the car horn.
Yeah.
Like, at least she tried to get help.
Yeah.
She'd just sit there strangling. I'm pretty sure Michael Myers is an Olympian sprinter because of how fast he is. Okay, here's my theory that I've been saying for a lot of years now.
No, I have a theory about this too.
I think that...
Wait, save it for the theories.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
I sense that Tommy and Lindsay have a thing for each other. Am I the only one that senses that?
How so?
I get they're little kids, but, like...
How so?
They like each other.
what evidence do you have to support this?
Just what do you mean evidence? I just sense it, like I see it. I'm not saying like, oh, I know they do. Just saying.
You think so?
I think they do. They're little kids though, so it could just be anything.
I don't think they do.
You know, okay. Linda says totally a total of 11 times. Yep.
Totally. You kept count?
No, I searched it up.
Oh, okay.
Because I was gonna keep count, because when we watched this with our dad, he did point that out, that she says it a lot, so I was like, oh, I gotta count. And then I wasn't keeping count, I was too invested in the film. I put Linda and Bob are really rude guests. They trash the house they have their fun in.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
That's just mean.
What do you mean trash?
Like, they just destroyed the house. They made messes and stuff.
Fair point.
With Bob's death, I don't understand why people don't turn on lights. He just walks into a dark room. I mean, I get the fridge has a light, but it doesn't really cover the whole room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I put either Michael Myers is a genius or Linda is a total idiot when Michael Myers is Bob as a ghost. That was a pretty good idea on Michael Myers' part.
Yeah.
I will admit that. I also put Laurie is an old lady in a teenage body because she crochets.
She knits.
She crochets. She also realizes that, you know, like, it's very quiet over at the house where Annie and Paul are supposedly, and then where Linda and Bob are.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes over and crosses the street, and I noticed this a lot throughout the movie. Nobody checks both ways before they cross the street. They just step, like, the cars better stop for me.
That's...
They just don't look. That is not a way we grew up. We grew up checking both ways before we cross the street. Right?
Yes.
Yes. I put... Wait, did I, like, gloss over any of yours?
No, because look, I have all the plot points.
Ah, okay.
Like, you know, the exposition,
Yeah.
climax, all that good stuff.
You're like a nerd.
Well...
I'm kidding. When Michael cuts Laurie's arm, she was just standing there, and he totally missed her. Terrible aim, in my opinion.
What if he meant to miss?
What? Oh. He's trying to kill her. He's trying to get to her throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And then I put, again, neighbors are the worst, when she's running around screaming.
Yeah.
I put Laurie probably has the greatest instincts ever when she stabs him with the needle in, like, his neck.
Oh, not the needle, her literal, like...
What's that called?
Oh. You might be right.
With crocheting?
Yeah.
Is it a needle? Pin?
Or like
something.
What do they use? Like a...
Knitting? When they're crocheting?
What's that thing called? A hook? No, I don't think
she stabs him with something pretty quickly, which is it's pretty good. She's also the first slasher survivor, so she isn't yet aware of the killer coming back trend. So, not gonna hold that against her. She probably thought she killed him, and that's it. I put Laurie's smart with the misleading closet trick.
Oh, yeah.
But Michael was smarter.
Yeah.
And then here's she's seen him come back again, so I don't know why she wouldn't at least keep an eye on him when he was laying down. Because she stabbed him in the neck, and he came back.
Yeah.
So, you might want to check on him again, if he dies again, supposedly. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I put Michael had to be doing crunches or something to be able to sit up like that without using any part of his body.
Oh my god.
That
was actually crazy, though.
I put my last plot point when Dr. Loomis kills Michael Myers, or supposedly kills Michael Myers. I put Dr. Loomis has incredible aim for a doctor. He must have practiced for this moment. I mean, to be fair, he was a couple feet away. He wasn't point blank, but still. Shot 6 times. 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
Right?
Should I read through the plot now?
Yeah, sure.
So, the specific plot points, just to regroup. First, we are introduced to a younger version of Michael, which is foreshadowing his future, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You did your homework, Jesus.
And then Michael escapes the mental hospital where he is institutionalized. Laurie starts to see this strange man following her all day. And then rising action? Michael starts killing Laurie's friends while Loomis tries to get inside Michael's mind to figure out where he is. The climax, in my opinion, is Laurie sees all her friends dead and Michael targets her.
I would say it's, when he's going after her. Just that
That's
whole
what I'm saying, like
10 to 15 minute interval.
Yeah. And then Laurie manages to get away from him several times and stabs him to think he's dead. And then Loomis shoots Michael several times, and he's seen falling from the balcony dead, but is gone when no one is looking.
Yeah. Do you know how crazy that would have been if that was the only movie? People would have been like, where is he? Where did he go?
Yeah.
Then we all know in the second one.
Okay. Favorite part?
Okay, favorite part. When Bob dies. I don't like him. I don't know why, but his death is very satisfying.
It's very psychotic of you.
I just don't like him. I don't know why. I just didn't like him from the start. Like, for the first time I ever saw him.
Oh my god. My favorite part was when Laurie stabs the hanger in his eye. I don't know why. It's just so funny to me.
Least favorite part?
I think we have the same least favorite part.
When Michael kills Lester?
Yes.
The dog?
Yeah.
If you kill dogs, I automatically hate you. Like any movie character. Okay. You know what? We should do a call-in right now. Yeah. Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah? We're gonna call someone in. Someone from older generation.
Oh.
Well. Okay, to be fair, he was alive when this movie came out.
That's true. He was like 3, though.
5.
5, sorry.
He was 5. Well, not even 5.
Yeah.
He was 4. We're gonna call our padre. Dad. Who actually bought us these. We forgot to mention this. Who paid for these? Our parents. Because they can afford them. Alright, let's do a call-in. Here we go.
Hola.
Hello?
Hey there.
Hi. We're doing our podcast right now.
Ooh.
And you're on it.
Hey, you're doing like one of my favorite movies ever. As you guys probably already know.
Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We know that. Can we hear your general thoughts / opinions on the plot?
General thoughts. Well, do you remember how old you were when you saw this movie?
The first
when I
time?
let you guys see this movie. You guys were probably pretty young, and I'm almost certain that I let you guys watch it when, it was on like network TV, the edited version, of course.
I think I was like 8 or something.
No way.
I think so.
I was 9.
I think I was 8.
8? Okay. I was probably about 9 when I saw it. So I didn't see it when it first came out. Obviously, I was 4, going on 5. But I was introduced to Halloween through Halloween 3. No, first I saw 2. I saw parts of 2, probably at my grandmother's house because she's the only one that had cable.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw parts of it, and it was, rather scary. Of course, I was told I couldn't watch it. But then I remember watching Halloween 3 on, network TV, that edited version. And it scared the crap out of me.
Which one?
But I was very confused because Michael Myers wasn't in it. So being that age, I had to I want to get down to the bottom of why Michael Myers was. I was kind of curious as to who he was. When he wasn't he didn't show up in 3. So then I kind of had to figure out, find my way to Halloween, the first Halloween, which my introduction to Halloween would have been. I had to be 9 years old, I would say, and I watched it on network TV. And back then, TV was very pretty important. Not everybody had cable. Movies, there weren't as many movies out. There were definitely less screens to watch movies. So, and at that time, Halloween was my favorite holiday by far. Probably even more than Christmas, because I just love the decorations. And at that point, I was watching more monster movies like Dracula and the old Frankenstein and Wolfman and stuff like that. So I thought, as far as the actual movie and the plot goes, it was something that it's kind of started everything. There wasn't any movies that there wasn't a movie that started that took place on Halloween, and certainly not in Illinois. And even though Haddonfield was or is a fictional town, as a kid, you don't know that, and you kind of want to know, where is Haddonfield? I remember trying to figure that out. It was a while before I realized that it was not a real town.
Yeah, samesies. I thought it was a real place.
What's that?
Samesies. I thought it was a real place too.
Yeah. So, and in the early 80s, the boogeyman was a thing. It was something parents told their kids, you don't behave, boogeyman's going to get you. And so Michael Myers being, the idea of the boogeyman is pretty real for a kid. So you really, the idea for that, the killer coming to the suburbs, was scary. Because for me, horror movies like that was completely brand new, and now it's one of my favorite genres. But this movie, it's not about the blood or the gore or anything. There's not much blood in this movie, if any. It's all about, the music is probably scarier than some of this. There's not really any jump scares, but the music is very haunting. It's the evil that resides in the darkness that's coming to get you, and overall the general nostalgic feelings. The refrigerator, the color of the refrigerator, the phones, those were definitely a thing for me growing up. The big giant laundry detergent box, all that stuff was very memorable for me. But it's definitely one of my favorites, and I've probably seen it at least once every year since 1983 or whatever year it was that I saw it. And as you know, I think we've been watching it at least once a year for the past, together at least, for the past, 6, 7, 8 years maybe?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, God. You know what? I love the very beginning to a point. where I mean the intro is cool with the jack-o'-lantern and the kind of flickering, but the that first shot where you're
Michael's eyes,
the POV of 6-year-old Michael, you know, kind of stalking the outside of the house.
Yeah.
And to where he kills his sister.
Yeah.
I do love that part. There's a lot of parts that I love, though.
Any other
What
ones?
about you? Like, what's your favorite? Do you have a single favorite part? I mean, I have too many to list, probably.
Well, why don't you go first?
Through all of them? Or
No,
you kind of a little...
Her favorite part.
When Laurie stabs the hanger in his eye.
Oh my gosh. You guys laugh every time that comes out.
I know, it's so funny. I don't know why.
It's funny how she does it. I put when Bob dies. I didn't like him. Mainly because he trashed the house. He didn't respect the host, who wasn't there, but still.
Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite part?
Probably, you know, I hate when dogs get killed.
That's what we said!
Yeah. That's probably my least favorite. Everything else, I love.
Yes.
Even the performances to a point, I think are great.
Our next section, sorry. It's called Oscar, or Best Performance, in your opinion. What'd you guys put?
I put Jamie.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
I put Michael Myers, Nick Castle. He was the shape, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Right.
I believe I put that because he was able to do that crunch when he got up. Also,
After the closet thing?
yeah, he was just scary without dialogue.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, there's only one point, you don't really know how big he is, right? He seems just like this
Normal guy.
Right? But he seems kind of overpowering, you know, because they only show him from far away. He's never really
up close
or next to anyone until, you know, in the end. And even then, you can't really tell. He's just bigger than Laurie Strode, right?
Yeah.
But there's a part where, remember where Tommy's getting bullied, and
he grabs that kid.
Yeah, he grabs that kid. You can kind of see how skinny he is.
Yeah.
But that's the only part where you can really tell how big he is. And even that, I didn't even recognize until, you know, probably the 10th time I watched it.
What about our Razzie, or worst performance?
I didn't put one.
You didn't put one?
No.
Did you put one?
I put Tommy. Sometimes he's a little whiny. I mean, I realize he's probably, 8 years old.
And I said.
Yeah.
I put bullies. I just hate them.
Well, you know, back in those days, bullies were a thing. They're not like
cyberbullying
the way it is now. But but that's what it was. That's how it was.
Cool cars. Did you guys have any of those? No.
Bob's van.
Me too. I think that's why I liked Bob's death, because if I was there, then I could get the van.
Jeez.
You see an airbrush picture of like a wizard on a unicorn or something on the side of it.
Yeah.
Or the Death Star.
Oh my god.
Fun foods.
What's yours? The popcorn.
Yes. For fun foods.
Well,
I put that too because like there wasn't much food in the movie.
No,
popcorn's
you're
really
right.
good though.
And I will have to say, I know, Roman, you don't agree, but stovetop popcorn is the best.
Yeah, whatever you say.
And that's all we had back then. We didn't have microwaves.
Yeah. Favorite song? Were there any of those?
Favorite song?
Well, the theme is,
dude.
you know, it's iconic. It's definitely memorable. I mean, people have it as ringtones. It's crazy.
Oh, I put "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Blue Oyster Cult.
What?
When is that on?
When Annie and Laurie are in in Annie's car, and they're
that's
doing
right.
pot
That's
or
a good
whatever.
one, too.
They're about to go to the hardware store.
Appropriate.
Oh.
But yeah, I like that song.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Critics' opinion. I'm gonna just read this real quick. Gene Siskel was part of Siskel and Ebert, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago Tribune gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4 and called weird, and called it a beautifully made thriller that works because director Carpenter knows how to shock while making us smile. He repeatedly sets up anticipation of a shock and delays the shock for varying lengths of time. The tension is considerable. More than once during the movie, I looked around just to make sure that no one weird was sitting behind me. And then Roger Ebert, gave the film similar praise in his 1979 review in the Chicago Sun-Times, referring to it as a visceral experience. We aren't seeing the movie, we're having it happen to us. It's frightening. Maybe you don't like movies that are really scary. They don't see this one. Then don't see this one. My bad. Ebert also selected it as one of his top 10 films of 1978. Once dismissive critics became impressed by Carpenter's choice of camera angles and simple music, and surprised by the lack of blood and graphic violence. Like you said.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, Siskel and Ebert, they were like, I don't know if it was a national thing because they were Chicago writers, but they had a show called At the Movies, and I never missed it in the 80s. Like I said, we didn't have cable, and we had, 9 channels, and so I never missed At the Movies because it was the only time you could really see previews for upcoming movies, and they were it if you wanted an opinion of the movies and just to see previews in general. That was a show you didn't miss in the early 80s. I don't know how long the show was on before I started watching it, but it had a long run.
Seems like it. Okay, it's next section. It's on the internet, so it must be true. Instead of utilizing a more traditional symphonic soundtrack, the film score consists primarily of a piano melody played in a 10/8 or complex 5/4 time signature, composed and performed by Carpenter. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, that was the other one that kind of reminds me of this theme is Mission Impossible. It's kind of a simple and iconic sound.
Yeah. Playing both of them in my head right now.
Okay.
Although it takes place in a fictional town in Illinois, Halloween was filmed in Southern California. Wow.
There's a few scenes, and again, I didn't realize this until much later, but I think when they're walking home from school, when the 3 girls are walking home from school, if you look way off into the distance, you can see the some palm trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that.
Yeah. Again, this was probably on my 20th time of seeing this.
Oh. The screenplay for the movie only took approximately 10 days to write.
Wow.
That's a pretty short time.
That's incredible.
I put many names were borrowed from Carpenter's and Hill's past, such as street names and movie characters. Like, I believe Laurie Strode was the name of an ex-girlfriend of Carpenter's.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a name you want to put in a movie you're making with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then street names were taken from Carpenter's hometown. And then Haddonfield, New Jersey is where Hill grew up. The actor for Michael Myers, Nick Castle, was paid $25 a day.
Yeah, I heard that. I think he was friends with John Carpenter. And he was just hanging around, as just sort of hanging around anyway. So yeah. I think Carpenter or maybe one of the producers just offered him. He's like, hey, we can give you $25. You're hanging around here anyway. Put on the mask and
walk around.
That seems. That does not seem like a lot of money, considering you're playing the main antagonist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Dr. Loomis was intended for 2 Star Wars actors before Donald Pleasance. And I say Star Wars because I just found those two actors had that in common. Peter Cushing, who was
Okay.
the Moff Tarkin guy, or the general guy. You know, general guy, that's what gets people to recognize him. And Christopher Lloyd, or Count Dooku.
Wow, no, that's not Christopher Lloyd.
No, Christopher Lloyd is
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
Who am I thinking of?
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. My bad.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
played who?
Count Dooku.
Oh.
Wrong
Okay.
name.
Yeah,
My
I can
bad.
see that.
PJ Souls, or Linda, her then husband Dennis Quaid was up for the role of Bob, but was unable to perform due to previous work
That's interesting.
commitments.
Hmm.
That would have been cool to see, though.
Isn't that a What If cast?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, that's an interesting fact.
Okay.
Carpenter performed the other side of the phone as Paul, Annie's boyfriend.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, that's cool. And 2 more. Michael Myers' mask was based on William Shatner's Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that. If you go online, you can find a picture of that Kirk mask. It's pretty strange.
Yeah. And then the movie was filmed in 20 days over 4 weeks.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow. This really was, wasn't it one of the most, it was an independent film. It was considered independent. And I think I don't
Most
know
successful?
how much it made, but
70
I think
million.
The budget was pretty low.
Yeah, we went over that. It was like $325,000 for the budget, and then $70 million at the box office.
Yeah, holy smokes. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then, here's our what if cast.
No, I have some crazy theories.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay. It says Michael Myers never runs after his victims, yet he catches them most of the time, and the reason might be all about trauma. Michael Myers stalks his targets and attacks them when they are either alone or vulnerable, and though some of them have had the chance to run, Michael always gets to them without having to run after them. A theory explains that Michael Myers never runs after his victims because he's all about fear rather than the kill itself.
Oh, wow.
Michael Myers was described by Loomis as the embodiment of evil, so this theory fits perfectly as Michael is more interested in haunting and seeing his victims consumed by fear rather than killing them. This explains why whenever a victim manages to get away, he doesn't get annoyed or frustrated, and he simply turns around and focuses on a different target. And as an example of his encounter with young Lonnie Elam.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the bullies.
Oh, Michael didn't kill him because he wasn't running away from him, so there was no thrill.
Wow.
Huh.
Jesus.
I thought he just didn't kill kids. I mean, I've never seen him kill a child.
Yeah.
I mean, in any of the movies, I don't recall him.
I mean, he wanted to kill a baby. Remember?
Did he?
Yeah, and that Paul Rudd one.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Hmm.
We never actually get. That's a weird one, though. That's a whole different. That's
Yeah.
a different discussion.
Yeah. Do you have any more theories?
Yes.
Yes, like what?
Hold on, let me pull it up. Michael Myers has a psychic connection to Halloween.
What?
Yeah.
You go.
Elaborate?
Yes, please.
Yeah, hold on, let me pull it. I just added the website.
Oh, okay. So he
Um,
has a psychic connection.
to Halloween.
Like the holiday?
yes.
The day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on, it's not loading.
Well, do you have any other ones? Or is that the only one?
No, I think I have some other ones.
Yeah.
I think this is like 12 of them on one site. So
Oh, geez. You're going to read them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Loomis is actually the same Loomis from Psycho.
Oh, some of the names came... Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Loomis came from, what is it called? Psycho. They use that name from that movie.
Oh, it says Michael Myers has a congenital insensitivity to pain.
What does that mean?
It says
He
a
doesn't
real...
feel pain.
Yeah,
Oh.
a real condition, CIP, is basically the inability to feel pain. Taking stab wounds, bullets, and the third-degree burns in stride, Michael doesn't seem to let pain hold him back.
Makes sense.
Michael Myers is autistic.
I mean...
He doesn't speak, exhibits repetitive, ritualistic behavior, is obsessive, and has problems with his motor skills.
Wow.
His obsession
Lola
with...
went on a deep dive.
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
Should have seen her earlier. She's talking about, like, exposition and stuff.
Oh, jeez. His obsession with the day Halloween could be attributed to a diagnosis of autism, as well as his compulsion to kill people in the same ways over and over.
Wow.
Ooh, I like this one. Michael Myers' childhood mask was made by Silver Shamrock.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's just a theory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Michael's purpose is to spread fear. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dr. Loomis is the real villain?
Did you, like, made him? Convinced him to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see.
Well, I think there's an argument to whether or not Dr. Loomis is a good doctor.
Yeah.
Although we don't really know what
He did
what
exactly.
he has seen. At this point in the series, right, if this was just viewed as one film and not as however many there were, 10,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
we
mean,
don't really know what
Okay.
Loomis and Michael have. We don't know any of their past. We don't know what.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot that's not just described in the movie.
I mean,
So,
I remember Dr. Loomis talking to Sheriff, whatever his name was. I remember talking about his
Right.
process. Yeah. Like, his process, he spent this many years doing this many years
Right.
doing that, and this many years locked up in a place because he couldn't get to him.
Okay, one last theory. Michael Myers isn't the original killer in Halloween. In the original Halloween, we see 6-year-old Michael Myers, but he murders his older sister. He is sent to Smith Grove Sanitarium. We see nothing of Michael's time in the sanitarium until Rob Zombie's remakes. We are just told that a 6-year-old child is evil, could not be helped, and the only solution is to lock him up for life. Think about it. Why is Dr. Loomis so obsessed with Michael Myers? Shouldn't an elderly psychiatrist have better things to do than chase a predator around town? Surely the police should be the ones doing this. But what if there's another reason Dr. Loomis freaks out whenever Michael gets out? What if he's worried he might get exposed? We know basically nothing about the Myers family. We're never told when Michael and Dr. Loomis meet. We just assume it's at Smith's Grove Sanitarium. It's entirely possible they met before that. What if Michael had behavioral problems and his parents had him seeing the doctor prior to the events of Halloween? Or what if Judith was seeing Dr. Loomis and he preyed on her? She was 15 when she died, meaning Dr. Loomis could have lost his whole career.
that's a deep dive.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you guys have do you have a theory at all as to why, if you only look at this movie and you pretend that there's not a 2 and beyond, do you guys have a theory as to why he became what he became?
No.
I mean, why did he kill his sister?
Lost his mind, I guess.
What'd you say?
Lost his mind.
Lost his mind?
At 6 years old.
No.
I don't know. There's too many theories with this movie because of all the loose ends.
Yeah.
Which is what
Well,
makes it so good.
he probably definitely had some kind of break, right? Some kind of psychotic break.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, because he's 6. And his sisters, well, first of all, we're the parents.
Exactly.
I know.
What parents go leave on Halloween?
Yeah.
I think they trusted the daughter with Michael.
Sure, but, is he angry because she didn't take him trick-or-treating?
Oh.
And he's...
Butterfly effect.
He's like, that's it, I've had enough. She's just, with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if she had just taken him trick-or-treating, none of this would have happened.
Exactly.
It's crazy what the butterfly effect is.
Yeah. That's a crazy what-if question.
What if cast? I have 2.
I didn't have anything. I couldn't find anything.
I put who would play Ben Tramer. Because I know in the second one he appears and dies, but he's in costume, so we don't see him.
Right.
But say Ben Tramer were to appear in this movie, who would play him?
John
I'm asking you specifically because you knew actors around that age at that time.
Well,
or you would know at least some.
So who did you mention?
Ben Tramer, Laurie's crush.
I know, but who to star as him?
I don't know. I just put that as a question.
Well, like I was saying earlier, in 1978, TV was very important, so I would think that it would have had to have been some stars from the shows that were on at the time or before. So, Ben Tramer. See, most of the cast is girls, so
yeah.
The only person I could think of that would be maybe Donny Osmond. I don't know if he's of the right age. He might be.
Mm. Well, I got
Donnie and Marie.
I got a second one to add on to that, just to get you thinking some more. Who would play Paul if he also were to appear in this movie?
Oh my god.
Well, the only 2 men that I could think of that would have been of age, once again, would be Donny Osmond, and then the kid from the Bad News Bears, Jackie Earl Haley, who, I don't know if you guys would know him from anything. I know he played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh, okay.
But, those are the only 2 I can think of. And then, as far as actresses, there's a lot, actually, that probably could have played Laurie and any of her girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody on Little House on the Prairie, which was a huge show in the 70s, at least the 2 main stars. Maybe even Brady Bunch, Marsha, the original Marsha.
Ooh.
Linda Blair probably could have been Laurie and or one of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I can think of as far as casting, somebody else who could have played. But I think they wanted Jamie Lee Curtis specifically because her mom was Janet Leigh.
Yeah, and Psycho, right?
Yeah.
Was she the girl screaming in the shower?
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Wow.
And our last section, WTF questions. We're gonna just kind of go through the plot again, but just through question form. How does Michael's older sister's boyfriend not see a little kid in a super bright clown costume?
With a knife.
With a knife, because
Yeah.
if you see in the movie, he turns his head, and Michael's in his field of vision. He's got that bright costume on. So, that should catch your eye. Or at least the glare from the knife.
True.
Unless he grabs the knife after, but I'm not sure.
No, he grabbed it before.
Oh, okay.
I had that too.
With his older sister, I put, who does their hair naked? Because she's naked and she's just brushing her hair. But...
Well, the other thing, too, is, I'm assuming she's around 16, 17 years old. She couldn't fight off a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah. This is a question, it probably can be answered but I wrote this down because I don't know. But, Dr. Loomis plans to give Michael Thorazine when he moves him to another institute. What's Thorazine?
What's Thorazine?
Or Thorazine? So, I think it's a drug.
Isn't it?
I think it's a sedative to like basically knock him out.
Yeah, or like make him like not move.
Okay, that makes sense.
But before that, I have when the parents get home and they see Michael with the bloody knife, and they're just kind of staring at him for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And like, wouldn't you, if you see a bloody knife,
wouldn't you run
see
inside?
your one lone son, wouldn't you be wondering, like, A, where's the blood from, and where's your sister?
Yeah.
And they're just kind of staring there, looking at him. Like,
do you have anything with the Institute?
Oh, I do.
You do?
just the fact that he can drive a car. I know they mentioned that in the movie.
Yeah. I put, I put, who taught Michael how to drive? Satan? Another patient? Why would someone give him lessons if he never talked to anyone?
Yeah, or how?
Yeah, how?
Why did the nurse decide to roll down the window?
That's what I put!
Like, when she heard the something on the roof of the car.
Yeah.
That was just so stupid.
This is more like a, not like anything with a plot, but do you guys know, we all notice this every time, but Lori and her dad's dialogue is so quiet. Like when she leaves to go to school.
The music is so much louder.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it goes on through till she gets to the Myers house, right?
Yeah.
The music kind of overpowers the dialogue for that little.
Yeah.
I feel like that we just got unlucky in some of the versions that we were watching. I know it's happened several times.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that being a problem or standing out before, like the last few years.
What class do you guys think Lori's taking when we see her in school? I think it's English or poetry.
It's probably.
Yeah, I thought it was English lit.
It's probably English.
Yeah. With the bullies and what was his name? Lonnie? Is that the one that got caught by Michael? Yeah. How does he not make like an audible noise to a man in a mask? They're like 8.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. How does Tommy not look at that car next to him? He's a little kid.
I know, I put that too.
Every kid looks at every car that passes by them.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Michael take the auto repair car rather than keep the Institute car? Because that's the car they're looking for. So wouldn't it be smarter to take that new car?
Right. The truck or whatever.
Yeah.
And, in that part, I don't think Dr. Loomis, he never discovered the body.
No. Oh, that dead repairman?
It was just a few steps shy of seeing the dead body.
Yeah, you just saw the... What is it?
It's like... Institute gown.
Yeah. When Linda is walking home with Annie and Lori, she says she's going to take her little brother trick-or-treating. What do you think her little brother dresses up as?
There's so many things that he could have done.
Yeah. Well, like, what were some generic costumes back then?
What would have been popular? Probably in 78. Probably... Maybe Star Wars to come out the year before. Sesame Street, the Muppets. Those were big when I was really, really young.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Muppets. They're so cool.
Okay.
That bush is too long for Michael to escape unless he A, ran, or B, dove in. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, when she sees him?
Yeah, and then Annie checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also supports my theory of him sprinting everywhere. Because I think whenever people don't see him, he just sprints to a new location.
Yeah, because he just does kind of, just shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my next question.
I think you need to recreate those scenes.
Yeah, just him running.
In real time to show how that works.
I put, that was my next question. Michael walks, how does he get places so fast?
Wow.
Well, he does drive.
Well, yeah. Here's another just funny one. I put Laurie has a Raggedy Ann doll. Was she the owner of the doll that Annabelle was based on?
That's awesome.
Good, I like
I
that.
love that theory.
This is more of a behind the scenes question. When we see Lester barking at Annie, he's actually barking like past her at something behind the camera. What do you think he's barking at? Or could it be barking
I think it's
at?
definitely Michael.
Oh,
He knows Michael's out there.
oh, like through the wall?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or there could have been a window there.
Makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I have something with Bob's death. Do you have anything before that?
Does Annie...
I like when they mention character names of people we don't really know, like
Ben Tramer and Paul?
like Ben Tramer, or I think they talked about somebody else too. I forget who, but I'm just fascinated by that. Also, there was
Charlie Bowles.
Oh, Charlie
there
Bowles.
was what's that?
Charlie Bowles at the gravestone scene?
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. Is like, I wanted to know that story.
Yeah, me
The
too.
story that the cemetery keeper.
Yeah.
He was starting to tell a story, and then Loomis just cuts him off right when he's about to get to the good part.
How rude.
I did have. Did Bob really leave the van door open when? I didn't see him close it. That always bothered me. That's the one thing that always bothered me about that part.
Just not closing stuff.
Yeah.
You had one about Annie?
Oh, does Annie not know how to look in a rearview mirror when Michael was following her in the Institute car?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she didn't look once.
She was smoking pot, though.
I know, but like, still. And then does nobody know that dogs can sense danger? Like,
not in 1978, apparently.
Like, what?
Yes, if we've learned anything, now we know, right?
Yeah.
I have something about Bob's death. Do you guys have anything before that?
Just would it kill for Bob to turn on a light?
That's what we said.
Rummaging around in the kitchen without a light on.
Why are the parents gone on Halloween?
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, every parent is gone. I've never
That never happens.
Maybe
Never
it's
happens.
maybe it's like Hocus Pocus. They all went to a party.
Yeah, it could be.
With Bob's death, I put, why doesn't anyone go for the no-no spot? Because his legs are dangling there. They're free.
Right.
It probably wouldn't affect Michael in any way, but it wouldn't hurt to try. With Linda's death, I put, why would she put on a shirt if her women parts are still out?
Dude.
They're still showing. There's no point to putting that on if they're there.
Oh my god.
I did have. Does Michael Myers have a sense of humor?
Yeah.
Because he dresses as
the
like
ghost.
Ghost Bob.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, I have one like that was before that. What if Lindsay did decide to go with Annie to pick up Paul?
Ooh. Who knows what would have happened?
I know.
I think he doesn't kill kids.
I think Lindsay probably would have ran out of the car and totally ditched Annie to go get help. And then she would end up being with Tommy and Lori. And then they would slowly intertwine to the original storyline where she's just there cowering with Tommy.
Huh. Okay.
I wonder how Michael set up Bob so he would fall at the right time. Like how he's dangling by his legs.
Oh my god.
Or how he even is dangling by his legs.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that door open on its own to reveal Linda's dead body?
That's true.
That's why I think Michael Myers does have a sense of humor. I think he's, it's like sets up all these little traps
Oh
so
my
that
god.
his timing is perfect.
Yeah.
I have one more, but it's towards the end, which with like getting shot and stuff. You guys have anything before that?
I have two
The only-
towards the end.
The only other one I have is, does Lori absolutely have to investigate across the street?
Oh yeah.
True.
Like when she's going to check out Annie and
Yeah, but
Paul.
I think she kind of still thinks that they're messing with her.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust them. I would have just stayed in the house. Would have waited.
Yeah.
Would you put Lola?
I have 2 more.
What'd you put?
Why is Michael so strong if he just stared at a wall for 15 years?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe it was, working out in between. Maybe he was staring at the wall while he was working out.
I can see a skit idea where he's just doing this like buff workout, and then someone passes the doorway, and it just cuts to him sitting in a chair.
Oh my god.
You know what? That would coincide with your sprinting theory.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Then my last one. Why isn't there any blood on the knife after Lori stabbed Michael in the end?
Maybe he doesn't have blood.
Well, I
This is
thought,
just pure
didn't he
evil.
stab her, or he like kind of sliced her arm down at the couch, behind the couch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's blood from that.
But there's no blood.
Yeah. After...
On the knife. After
Yeah.
stabbing Michael in the chest, I believe.
Yeah.
Does he have more than one knife? Because when the sheriff was saying some kid broke into the hardware store and they stole a mask and some knives.
Oh.
True.
Because he did stab Annie.
Yes.
Wait.
So there could be blood on a knife definitely blood from Bob.
Yes, definitely. That knife was in his chest for a while.
Well, he dropped the knife when she stabbed him in the eye with the hanger, and she used that to stab him, but there was no blood on the knife.
Yeah. So
That's what got me.
I think that's why he's saying like could have been a knife. Could have been.
No, but like she stabbed him, so like why isn't there any blood?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
That's confusing to me too. My last question. It took Michael well over a minute to recover after getting stabbed, whereas it takes less than 5 seconds for him to leave and run, or walk, whatever he does, after getting shot 6 times and falling down 2 stories. How is that possible?
Yeah. Well, okay. Did you guys talk at all about the original idea that John Carpenter had for this movie?
What was that?
And that there wasn't supposed to be any sequels.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at this in that way, where there's only one movie, as part of an anthology where every Halloween there's going to be a new story, right? Halloween 3 actually works because it's a completely different story, but it's set on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So I like, we don't know any of the history behind Lori and Michael, right? Because that didn't come out until the second one.
Yeah.
So I like the way that it ends, where all of a sudden he's gone. Because now you have to like wonder, well, what happens next? You don't. Whereas Halloween 2, we know what happens next because it takes, it happens exactly after that event, right?
Yeah.
So I like this in a movie that's all in one. There's no sequels. The story, begins and ends, and it kind of leaves you hanging. Yeah. I love that idea. I do like the other ones, not as much as this first one, but I do think that's interesting though. If you watch it in that way, in a totally enclosed, encapsulated movie, where no other sequels are happening or anything like that. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Like that third one where we just see him like screaming and we don't actually know what happens.
Exactly. And I think that is not an accident. I think that's how it was actually supposed to happen.
That would have been cool to like get a bunch of movies all called Halloween and it's just different stories each time. Like Goosebumps.
Like Goosebumps, yeah, exactly.
Do you have anything else you want to add before you go?
No, I think this is pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is definitely it's got to be my favorite I guess, horror movie, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have to call you again for some other older movies.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right, well, you guys take care. Good luck on the rest of your series.
Yes,
I
thank
think
you.
it's a great idea.
Thank you. Okay, bye. See you at dinner.
Oh my god.
This was very fun, in my opinion. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, we hope you enjoyed listening or watching to this video or audio of Halloween. Lola, it's been great having you. I'll be sure to invite you again
Yes.
with all your exposition and theories
Oh
and
my
stuff.
god.
I mean, it was.
Sorry, I'm learning about
No,
it
no,
right
it's
now.
fine. It's fine. It was very different from Marcos, where we just talked about Spider-Man.
Well, he's literally
A child.
yes. Doesn't have much to say.
No.
He does, but you know.
Thank you for listening / watching. Goodbye.